Welcome back, everyone, to Chicago by Night. Night has fallen over the city yet again, as these hapless neonates struggle to find their place in the windy city among the intrigues and power plays. Have we seen any intrigues and power plays yet, really? We haven't.
And we did.
Congregating domain.
Yeah. That's an intrigue.
Guess
Did
what Kate's been
aggravate that?
intrigued?
Did aggravate that other Ventru in front of the entire boardroom and got
Oh,
him
yes.
to embarrass himself.
By accident. I was only trying to embarrass him a little. It's not my fault he's...
Champeter is...
It's not my fault he's got, like, terrible self-control.
Yeah.
The intrigue was entirely unintentional.
But also just a happy coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the biggest actual deliberate move has been from Sylvester and speaking with the prince.
Yeah. As you can see, I've put down on the map here a whole bunch of nightclubs and landmarks that different people would know about. I mentioned I should do that, and then I completely forgot about it until 5 minutes before we should begin. So, no, I did it! Yeah, different night spots for the vampires, as it were. And you're gonna lean into a particular one, aren't you? Which is the spider room that nobody else has laid claim to yet. But we'll see how that goes.
Are we gonna do introductions today?
Yes, we are. This show is rated R for...
You don't need to know who I am.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yes. And for mature subject matter, occasional murders, bloodlust, struggle with the beast. So I guess there's some mental health issues in there as well, because let's face it, vampires get twitchy after a while, don't they? For obvious reasons, I might add. Those who play this game and come away going, I want to be a vampire in real life, probably, I would recommend seeing a counselor, probably. Because this is not a good life to live. Or
The biggest problem with the vampires is that their therapists are Malkavians.
That might well be the case. And even if they weren't Malkavians, would you trust a kindred therapist with all your deepest secrets? There's no way that's going to come out and be used against you. And
It could be a secret Malkavian wearing a hat.
right. So the bonus of having a Malkavian as your therapist would be that, in fact, they are not going to give your secrets away. On the other hand, they're going to give absolutely useless advice. So that probably just makes you even worse. Yeah, I can see that. That tracks. I am your friendly storyteller, Mikael Hellstrom. Welcome to Myth Machine. I don't remember the Camarilla bids it. Follow the channel, click on the subscribe button, ring the bell icon, all that stuff. Who's with us today?
I am El Duende, pronouns any all. I'll be playing as Tony Hernandez, the Brujah gangster.
Thought we were doing it in order. Hello, I'm Dominic, or Dominic
Hello.
for short. I'll be playing my Kevin rockstar Sylvester Björnsson, the guitar riff here. Brrrr.
Where did the guitar riff go?
Do you want me to?
I'm used to guitar right there, but okay.
He didn't have his heart in it this
It's
time.
very sad. But there we go.
I don't know.
There we go. Now I feel much better. Next.
I guess I'll go next. Hello, I'm Ender, playing Kate Pretty, apprentice of the Third Circle of Clan Tremere, aspiring cult leader, and in deep shit.
I don't know about aspiring anymore. You are a cult leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
I'll change
the
title.
next step on the ladder is making it a MLM.
Oh, yes. Multi-level marketing, here we go.
Yeah,
Well,
I want
that
the
was-
I
IRS
just
on
said
my
that as
Um,
Marxist-Leninist Maoist.
I was supposed to say that was not a thing back then, so instead you're gonna have to do a Ponzi scheme, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm Roger. I'm playing Goldtooth Charlie, a creative gangster who has now tried to have 2 last scores and is now being drawn into shady nightclub business.
Yep.
I'm Jan. I'm playing Ivy, the businessman who's getting his feet wet in the dirty stuff.
Is that all
Love
of
the
us?
silence.
Yes, that's all of us. Wow. Yes. Your friendly storyteller is right on top of everything. Let's consult our projects, shall we? We are in late February. It's the week of February 17th. See, in North America, people don't count the number of weeks in the year. In my old native country of Sweden, I don't know, do you do that in Norway too? Count like week number 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, we do. I hate doing it though, so I usually ignore it because I cannot keep track for the life of me.
I kind of like it.
I
'Cause
just like the month.
tells me like
the day.
somewhere where we are, but yeah, that's. So this would be week number what in the year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're in week 8. Yeah.
I do mean this in the most bigoted way possible. That is extremely European.
We like keeping order in Sweden, okay?
Like,
Everything is organized. Have you ever been to an IKEA? Except IKEA, because there the whole point is that it should be a test on the relationships of all the new partners who go there to furnish their first apartment. It's one of the tests, like subtextual tests. If you can survive, if your relationship can survive a visit to IKEA, I think it's probably going to work out.
I'll
If
keep that in
anything, You should
mind.
have a date at IKEA because they have food there. Yeah,
The meatballs.
I do love me as
Don't
usually.
eat the meatballs. Anyway, so we are now looking into this week here, and we have influence with Latin kings is proceeding. It is now 9 on the die. Guards for the Haven is now a 2 on the process. I don't know if Tony wants to finish that thing. Of course, Kate's working here for the new recruit for the professor is at an 8. I feel like it might be too early to push that one.
Just thinking about it, like, it won't work if it's going at that speed. Like, I will never be able to accomplish it before the deadline hits. If it's going to take 10 weeks to do.
Well, you can speed it up so it doesn't take 10 weeks to do, but it might be too early to try and speed it up right now.
No,
Right
because
now-
like, it starts at what, 10 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the deadline will expire at 6 weeks.
Ooh. We're up against the clock.
And that means I would have to outroll it at 6 weeks with what, like 3 dice against 6 dice? And even
No,
then,
you
that would
have-
only
you have-
speed it up.
You have, let's see now, Kate has, you're gonna probably use academics for your role, because you're recruiting so you have 3 plus 2, you have 5 dice. Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
I think you have 2 music tracks layered on top of each other again.
Yeah, your phone, Kate.
No, but I think that means I need
we
to
are.
technically roll it every week to make sure because even if I succeed in the roll, that only speeds it up, right?
Yeah, depending on how well you succeed, absolutely. So a goal roll here, if you lose, you take damage as losses to your background dots, starting with the stake. So you actually lose background dots. So it's not a good idea
So
to roll this.
It's also no, but that's the thing. Like, it's already a week in,
Yeah.
so I've only got 3 weeks left.
It's 2
So I
weeks.
don't think
Yeah.
it's okay. It's 2 weeks in, out of a 4-week deadline.
You're fucked.
Do you want help?
Yeah,
Like, help wouldn't progress this role faster.
It wouldn't. Like, if we put more resources into it, it wouldn't.
I don't think I
Get your-
can put more resources into it
No,
after the
like-
initial spend.
Oh, you can't? Oh, shit. Forget I said anything, so.
No, it's a suggestion, but it's just I don't think it's mathematically possible for Kate to succeed on this, even if she did everything correctly, because
Okay.
the time frames don't line up.
Okay. How about help in a different way? This is for the Brujah primogen, right?
Yep.
How
Yes.
about we do like a social scene where we try to get him to give you another month or something?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Okay.
be socially engaging with him ever again.
Okay.
Because he was the reason I was incapacitated willpower-wise for 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
So-
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's terrifying, isn't he?
Yeah.
If push comes
If-
to shove, you do have that favor from Loden.
Yeah, that's not something I want to call in. But I'm
You
just
do have
thinking,
Earth-
Storyteller, did it make sense for this to be a 10-week project?
Everything makes sense.
I know you defaulted to 10-week project because that's what it normally defaults to, but setting up a 10-week timer for something that needs to be done in 3 days and 3 weeks and 6 days.
If we separate a couple of things here, so we have this guy that we're wanting to recruit to Critias to show your goodwill and to show that you're all nice and fine. So that's one objective here. The other one has to do with a local professor that you want to interfere with, and you feel like right now I bungled my relationship with Critias, so I'm not going to go close to it, which is a rational reaction to
What-
the outcome of that
it's-
conversation.
It's more the thing of I can't, in my mind, I can't touch anything related to the campus until I've got his permission, and I'm not going to get his permission until after I've made amends.
Just a thought here. We've got, from all the stuff we've heard, and especially with Ivy being in the boardroom and like the Prince's file, other odds and ends, was it that implying that Critias is actually the leader of the Anarchs, or at least the sort of their intellectual inspiration or something?
That might be
I-
an appropriate interpretation for Ivy, at least.
Yeah, I don't think
It's-
Ivy shared what happened in the boardroom for the same reason that each of us didn't share what happened at our own clan meetings.
Which is
With the
that's
group.
a fair question. Have all of y'all been sharing your experiences from the respective
Private-
meetings?
I feel like it's not something Sylvester would bring up unless asked about, so probably no.
Honestly, it feels more Brujah not to go to a clan meeting.
I
The
mean,
Katie
Interesting
clan-
interpretation.
Katie
yeah, no, I
clan
didn't-
meeting is you just sit on a roof alone staring at the moon.
That's fair and sad, and Kate definitely is not sharing the intricacies of her clan meeting.
Which also makes sense. Shamir are not known for their transparency. The question is, this professor, of course, probably lives close to campus, if not on campus.
It's more the thing of the professor is like,
Belongs to campus.
yeah, he belongs to campus, so I'm assuming that the campus is his herd. I'm assuming
That makes sense.
because
Well,
I
that-
don't. That's a
The
fair
domain,
assumption.
I'd say, because herd, that's a massive herd. That's a herd of
Yes,
400
but this
people.
guy is at least like Malthusian, possibly older. So having a herd that size is not surprising. So I'm just saying, in this case, even as a professor, like even if his herd was just the teachers at the school, he would fall under that category. Like even if we're just going to narrow down to not all the students, just the teachers, like the professor would fall under the herd of Critias. I believe what Kate believes is a safe assumption, and that means even if he's off campus, he's still the property of Critias.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which means fucking with him without Critias' permission, still a very bad idea.
In which case, I suppose...
The only other option she could do is if he keeps the records or the copies of his stuff, like the original document that he's copied off, like he's working from, if he keeps that off campus, she could steal that, and as his only primary source, he would have no evidence to back up anything he published. But also, Premier would not like him publishing anything at all.
Another possibility, given that you have intelligence and academics, all of it, would be interfering with the publication in some way without actually talking to the professor. So, to get something published, you have to go through peer review. And
Which means people would need to look over your primary sources.
Not necessarily.
Your source...
Sometimes they do, but it's not required. I don't think anyone ever looked over my primary sources when I was publishing.
No, but this is not something... Well, they would need to look over those sources because this is a historical document. It's not something that can be tested. It's something that needs to be verified by the sources.
The thing is, peer review, it doesn't quite work that way because you'll often have researchers all across the world and they're not going to have access to the primary source. So, in a whole lot of cases, like you can't expect a reviewer to physically be able to travel to campus and check the document.
There's also a pit trap in that one, though, because do I want a bunch of researchers researching this information?
That's fair.
Like, the whole point is this...
Can we mess with the Postal Service?
I mess with...
Maybe, because this is 1991. There's no... There is email, but I'm sure that the actual manuscript will go by regular mail.
So, I could just get... Because I know when he needs to post it.
Yep.
Like the earliest date. So I could just... Wait, I'm guessing in America, how does the postal system work? I know in Britain you've got the boxes, like the red boxes to put mail in. Do they have something similar over there?
In the US too, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So theoretically, if I knew when he puts it in, I could steal it out.
Yeah.
Like I could dominate the controller, the postman.
Yeah, you could, provided that he's emptying the box when it's dark outside. Or...
That is true.
Or... Oh, this is an interesting dilemma, isn't it? It's hard to live at night.
I am stuck between so
Tony could...
different spikes in a pit.
Yes. Tony could larceny his way into the postbox.
Yeah. But that would assume that he posted it in the afternoon and it wasn't picked up before night.
Fair.
I've got an idea. This is metagamer, but just for the sheer chaos this could set off, is that if Kate is panicking enough about this whole situation, and Critias specifically asked for, it was like he wanted something he didn't know. That was like the specific request he made, I think. And we have 2 massive blackmail files that Kate has presumably gone through and like computerized and everything. And if you're freaking out enough about it, maybe you just take this entire blackmail stash to Critias. And here's some stuff you don't know.
That's an option.
That is an option. Another option would be to...
You did make a mistake with your plan, though. You admitted it was metagaming. Never admit there's a flaw in your plan.
What?
Well, that's the thing. I would like to point out, like, Kate is 4 out of 5 intelligence. I am not 4 out of 5 intelligence, so I would
also-
welcoming any suggestions.
Also, we're abstracting this and going like week by week still. So there's
Although
definitely
it's not,
the whole.
it's-
You
you
know,
know, normally when you say metagaming, you think it's like tipping the balance in your favor. This will be tipping the balance in absolute chaos.
Also, if you want to do the postal service thing, you could break in. You could have someone break into the post office, or just rob the post office at the wrong time, like Tony and the crew. Latin Kings go robbing a post office, or just break in, grab that particular thing, and maybe some money
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah,
Robbing a post office? Isn't that a federal
yeah.
crime?
Yes, because the post, like at least here in like
Could
post
use-
office, like they
That's
have
a
money
lot
for
of
the stamps, and they're like a bank on the side as well.
Yep.
So the post office would be. We could get. I think this is doable with Tony's influence over the Latin Kings. We could rob this
I don't
thing.
have any yet.
He doesn't have any.
Oh,
He's
boss.
working on it.
Could
That's the
we?
thing, I can use my cult, but I don't think they'd be up for doing federal crimes just yet.
Oh, okay.
Like local crimes, sure. I don't think
Uh,
they're convincible for federal yet.
Your cult is
wait,
on,
wait. Charlie, you used to be a criminal. How are you with locks and shit?
Not good. Only got up to 1 point in it after nearly failing so badly to steal a car.
Usually we
Okay,
just
and Tony,
bust
you're a
open
criminal. How are you with locks and stuff?
Pretty decent.
Okay,
Usually
could
just
you?
bust
Do you know what locks are really easy? The little posty locks. You know that for the thingy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If you can break into that, okay. After you post it, you break into that and you just take it out.
Wait, alright, so are you telling Tony in universe the context behind why you want to steal this specific package?
That's up to Kate. I suppose Kate would have to ask you. I'm just
Yeah,
just
Kate.
trying to solve this
Oh.
problem. I'm.
Like, I don't even know whether Kate's told you guys that this is a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
yet.
So
That's
Yeah,
the
and
next
you-
This is just
cruising along
brainstorming
here.
with the
Yeah,
collective
this-
party brain because I am not as smart as my character.
yeah.
Exactly.
But my character is also very squirrely and does not like to share information.
Sylvester, by now, will definitely, because you have all the insight and wits, will definitely have noticed that Kate is under a lot of stress. I don't know that Tony. Oh, yeah, Tony probably too. Same
I
fight.
have wits free awareness too, so maybe.
Yeah. I
Fuck it,
probably
gonna
hasn't
roll.
noticed. And Charlie.
To be fair, most of the group would have seen her like spending a week collapsed at the haven. Just
I guess
kind
we
of
don't care.
walking around in a fugue state.
What am I gonna do?
Also,
What am I gonna
another
do? What am I
idea-
gonna do? And
We'd
you're gonna
wanna-
actually. We're gonna actually. No, you don't
I
have to
didn't mean
roll
to-
the dice. I was saying take half and you can succeed. So, why are you messing up your
Yeah,
chances,
fun.
Tony?
We're just doing no reason. Do I
Yes.
need a reason to do dumb shit, Mikkel?
No, you don't need this
That's-
shit. This is true.
I'm sorry about derailing the session. Sorry.
No, not at all.
No,
These
no.
are part of the challenges during this time of Kate is under a lot of stress. And
And I did the
part of
math,
the
and the
drama
math is
here.
saying I'm fucked.
yes, it is. And also because the guy you're trying to recruit is in Toronto, which is like in a different country, and you're sending letters and you're like fretting and like, when is the letter coming back? And I hope this is gonna work. And meanwhile, I think we're gonna do some things here. Things are gonna happen. Who are we gonna pick first? Since I need some order here, and I'm gonna go in some kind of order. Let's start with Goldtooth Charlie.
It would have been very funny if you said me, because Sylvester is not known for being a person of order.
This is true. This is just for my own autistic sense of order, because otherwise I'll lose track of what scenes I've
I
done.
was
and
expecting
with
you to
whom.
say Sylvester because they're top of the Discord channel, but I was like, oh, okay, that's ironic.
Well,
Just
I'm
does
looking
his
at the order, like the order that the character sheets are listed in Foundry. And Goldtooth Charlie is first, because G is the first letter in the alphabet compared to everybody else. So
Okay,
that's
so first thing, since we got the heist done, and now we have the massive blackmail file, which Charlie is very interested in the possibilities of. First thing he's going to do is ask Ivy, if all this information on the file came out, is there any way that you could predict enough what effect it would have that we could profit from it? So rather than just instead of just like milking it for blackmail, if we revealed everything and unleashed mayhem, could we still profit from it?
Yeah, I think maybe I could roll to peruse the blackmail or something.
We've already mentioned the blackmail, haven't we? Mechanically, the blackmail is good enough to give someone an extra success on a launch roll, perhaps, in influence, in the appropriate type of influence, I would say.
Because we have 2 lots of blackmail, don't we?
Yeah, you do. One from Champeter and one from the heist.
Yeah, I think the Champeter one, you said it gives 2 dots of success, but it only deals with businesses in the city.
Yes, the other one is more spread out, so more possible applications, but fewer successes.
But, yeah.
But this particular night, when Charlie has been out and probably have fed and is the way he wants to feel, I have a feeling that he's gonna get visited by someone.
Yeah, we'll have also passed on to everybody else the old guy who saw me and freaked out, like the best description and sort of sketch Charlie can do, just in case anybody else sees him.
What is Charlie's typical route in... Describe a typical night routine. He wakes up out of his slumber. He goes out to feed somewhere. Is that going to be like in the suburbs and so on?
Yeah, he's still doing his vigilante hunting style. So he's just going to somewhere where somebody will start some trouble with him, and so volunteer.
Aha, okay. I think he's gonna be... You have decent humanity still, don't you? Okay, maybe not amazing, but it's okay. Okay, humanity.
It's better than it could have been.
Yes. After having done with your feeding, and what is a typical night for him? You don't have ghouls. What is your business? Are we going to sell some of that begotten merchandise? There was some artifacts, some gold, some such things from the heist. You do have your criminal contacts after all?
Yeah, so I guess Charlie is back into the world of neon and gaudy decoration.
Yes, this is exactly it. And one of these evenings, as you are walking along the streets of neon and gaudy decorations, there's gonna be a call to you, like hey, what up? And you will see, sitting on a fence in an alley, like it's one of those boarded up, like supposed to be like a door into the alleyway or something, is a kid. I'm scrolling. He looks like a young punk, basically. He has a foot-tall mohawk. And yeah, it's really impressive. And he has jeans, Doc Martens, and a leather jacket. And yeah, maybe, how old is he? Teenager? 17? 18? Something like that?
Oh, 80 years old.
15? Who knows? So he's sitting up there on that fence and he's, what up? What up, dude? What's going on?
Charlie will go over, my man, and do whatever handshake we do in this part of town.
He's just going to be a bit weirded out over that handshake as he's jumping down from the fence he was sitting on. He's moving a bit like an alley cat, maybe. Very smooth in his moves. I guess you're Goldtooth, right?
Charlie grins widely and taps the tooth.
Right. I'm Dickie. That's what most people call me, at least. I heard through the grapevine that you're clanless. It is, in fact, cold enough at the moment to notice that this guy... Maybe not cold enough. It says it's very much above freezing right now. It's later in February, so that tracks. But he is pale, and he is not trying to hide his paleness at all. He is definitely a predator, much like yourself.
When he says clanless, Charlie says, I prefer to think of it as I have more nights free.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Charlie, you don't even have to look at the guy too long. He's standing in shadows and all, so that makes it a bit harder. But not that long to identify him as one of the undead. He has an ashen pallor to his face that is hard to ignore, I think. So, okay, let me get this straight. What I heard from in the grapevine here is you just arrived in the city, and he's looking around himself all the time, like down the streets and sometimes up in the rooftops even.
When he says you knew in the city, Charlie corrects him, no, just got back to the city.
Got back to the city, right.
Grew up here a lot. I grew up here since I was 12. Had to get out of town for a while, now I'm back.
I feel that. So what did you do that made you have a split?
Something that a lot of people saw on TV.
Okay, that's cool. Do you know what you've walked into here? Aren't you here with some bunch of new kindred?
The first ones I met after I got made all got in together.
He's shaking his head a bit. Fuck are they making me do this shit? Why don't we
I want to turn on my heightened sensors and just have a look around to see if I can see what he's nervous about.
Sure. The wits and awareness, you have 4, you have 3 dice. It's a 5 dice in total, that's a 3 if you're taking half. You can't see anyone that would be possible hostile to you or him. You don't know what this guy's deal is, of course. You've never seen it before. Listen. I'm not going to stick around here for much longer. And he's, again, looking around. But I need to know what your deal is, man. Like, all the other caitiff that I know of in this city, we're all part of the Anarch movement. But you haven't been meeting up at a single meeting, as far as I know. So what the fuck is wrong with you? You're not working for the prince, are you?
Getting ourselves settled and seeing what's what.
Seeing what's what? Dude. What's what is... You're gonna be hunted down by the man. That's what happens to all of us. So you join the program, or you're gonna find yourself staked to the sun. I've been around long enough to know. Get it? I don't give a fuck if you are staked to the sun. I'm just telling you, that's how this is gonna end for you. He's looking around again.
I will say, who the hell did we meet in the Succubus Club? The French guy and the former Black Panther.
Levesque, yeah.
And so also met Juggler as well. And talked a good game, but they seem to have some questionable ideas about the ethics of what anarchy would actually mean when you have a condition.
What the fuck you talking about, man? Just safety in numbers, dude. They're gonna eat you alive. He's gonna try to persuade you in a way, like he hopes to get you to get with the program here, but this
He
guy
wasn't
is
very convincing.
not at all. Ooh, I rolled 3 successes. Look at him go. Charlie, can you defend yourself from his almost paranoid attempt here to convince you to come down to a meeting for your own safety? Has his paranoia been enough to convince you that you're in danger? You can roll a wits and insight check for that. Of course, you're gonna need the 3 successes. Are you gonna need even more?
Is there... I remember reading somewhere there was, if you just burned a willpower, you could automatically succeed at these sort of rolls?
That's an
Is
earlier
that something
editions.
That's an earlier edition
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will. So this is how it's gonna work out, Goldtooth. You are either gonna be convinced that this guy is creepy enough and paranoid enough, and as a caitiff, you're gonna get staked to the sun, or you're gonna spend 2 willpower points to resist, because that's the difference between your rolls.
He only wants me to go to a meeting. That's what he's
Yep.
talked me into. Yeah, I think I'll go with it.
Right. We're not going right now, you idiot. The Barons. And he's gonna give you an address, basically. I'll meet you at. He's not even gonna give you the exact address of the meeting. He's just gonna give you an address where he can meet you. And then he's gonna jump up to the board where he was, the board wall there where he was balancing before, and just do... he's basically parkouring away to the other side and doing a somersault and disappearing on the other side. That was Goldtooth Charlie's moment of the week. We'll see how that's going to turn out, won't we? We have others who are going to have a moment of their week, but in different places, as it were. Let's head, maybe downtown. Why are there always so many tracks? Anyway. Ivy!
Yo.
Yo!
Yes, how is it going?
Exactly. That's exactly what we mean. This is not too far after the Venture board meeting, when you're gonna get a call from Mr. Neely. And of course, this is not a call you just ignore, is it?
No, I say, hello, Mr. Neely. How may I be of service to you this fine night?
Mr. Davenport, I am quite pleased, and I will say that the Prince was quite pleased with your performance on the last board meeting. I'm happy to tell you. Now,
Oh,
we did have an agenda on the board meeting, and of course, it is my task to make sure that labor is distributed properly amongst our clan members so that we can meet the Prince's agenda properly, yes?
okay. Let's dispense with the pleasantries. What do you need me to do?
Oh,
I want you to know what the Anarchs know before they know that, particularly in
Okay.
this case, I would like you to help Mr. Sovereign track down their cash flows. I want to
Okay.
strangle their businesses. I want to make sure
Okay,
that cash flow dries up.
Do you know any starting point? Do you know businesses that Jungler might have his fingers in that we could begin as a starting point, or?
Unfortunately, I do not.
Okay.
Mr. Sovereign might have some leads on this, but he's also been working lately. So, Juggler, I will say, is a relatively new player on the scene. He's only been in the city for about a month or so, as far as I understand.
All right. Okay. So he's hanging around with Anarchs that have been in the city for a while. Do we
Indeed.
know? Do we have a psychological profile or a background on these Anarchs, like these possible leaders? That like maybe one of them was like a weatherman or something, and he might be still tied to them, or one of them might have been like a wobbly in his life, and he's still tied to them.
We have quite a few profiles, in fact. Yes, we have done our level best to keep tabs on various Anarchs in the city. We have eyes and ears everywhere, or as in as many places as we possibly can, of course. I think Ivy will hear that Neely wants to say that there is a decent intelligence apparatus around here without giving you details.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna point you out. If you would you say there's 3 or 4, or maybe, I don't know, what's the number of like leadership Lanarks? It'd be maybe like 5 guys, 6 guys, maybe. I don't know,
Well,
around in Juggler Circle.
Let's begin at the top, shall we?
Yeah.
There is 2 Brujah primogen in the city. How directly
them?
involved they are with the street-level Anarchs is difficult to ascertain because, of course, as primogen, they're quite decent at covering their tracks. So we can't tie Juggler to any one of them in a clear and easy way. Juggler might take orders from Critias, he might take orders from Tyler, we don't know. Maybe he's take orders from both. We also don't know if the Gangrel primogen is interested in any of the Anarch messages, any of the Anarch causes. There might be a Gangrel who is interested in the Anarch cause, but she's not an elder at all.
Okay.
Her name is Rose, by the way. She's known to be an animal rights activist, which is probably close to the Anarch social causes. But still, I digress. In the past, we've had several different leaders of the Anarchs. Most recently, if we go back far enough, you could find presently called Prince Modius as a leader of the Anarchs a century ago. But now he is a prince, and in Gary, I think he still has sympathies for the Anarchs. There is, as far as we can identify, 3 Anarch coteries. One consists of the, shall we say, old guard Anarchs, who are more deeply intertwined with the labor unions. They are working in a more traditional sense. Demonstrations, strikes, rallies, that sort of thing.
Oh, if they're tied to the labor unions, we could look at their financials as a starting point. I'll write that down.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another group goes by the sobriquet of the Nihilists.
Oh.
They are seen as the most unruly of the lot. Exactly how many they are, I couldn't say for sure, but at least half a dozen, probably. If there is riots in the street, if there are neighborhood storefronts being smashed and plundered, vandalism, they are the most likely to be behind that. And of course, Prince Lodin is making sure that the police is engaged with these nihilists actively, because it's probably the most easy target for police interference. And then we're curious about Juggler's group. I would say they fall somewhere in between. Exactly what plans they have, we do not know, of course. In the past, so a few years ago, this was just around the time that you were taken into the fold, I believe, Mr. Davenport. Into the night, I should say. There was an Anarch known as Mal Davis, and she was a very successful Anarch leader, managed to unite everyone under basically one banner, to the point of becoming a danger to Prince Lodin, until we managed, by good counterintelligence and intelligence work, to turn the tables and strike that movement down in one fell swoop. Many of the Anarchs were destroyed during what is now known as the Council Wars. She was trying to infiltrate the city council with her mortal pawns. She is still at large. We do not know where she is, but given the attention we're paying to locate her whereabouts, I doubt that she can give much leadership other than, I suppose, moral support. Her mortal network is in tatters. So this is why we're looking towards Juggler, because before Juggler, there was quiet in the city. It was the socialists, the nihilists, and then the rest of the Anarchs, leaderless, scattered, divided. But Juggler seems to have pulled them together once again. Still, they seem to be not united under a single banner, according to our intelligence, and that is where you come in, Mr. Davenport. You want to make sure that they cannot use their money to fund their activities. Of course, some activities of theirs are exceedingly cheap, but anytime they are cornered into relying on criminal activities that fall under mortal laws, that makes life so much easier for us, doesn't it?
I'll discuss with Mr. Sovereign, and maybe he has some leads I can help him with, but I'll definitely look into this connection to Union's lead, because Union dues are recorded and their money is on the books. So I can definitely look at that, see if any of it is going into a strange charity that could be controlled by an Anarch or something.
I will
I'll
leave
talk
the
with Mr.
details up to you, Mr. Davenport. I just expect some kind of results and a report to be presented to the board by the next clan meeting, the next board meeting.
Okay.
Very well, Mr. Davenport. I'll leave you to it. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Have a good night. And he's going to just hang up, basically.
Okay, I guess I need to ring...
He said if one of them was a weatherman. For a second, I was like, wait, what the hell? Then it clicked, you mean the Weather Underground?
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty much it, yes. But yeah, Kate is not the only one who's getting orders from the clan, are you?
Hey, hopefully you perform better than I have.
Absolutely.
Well, you haven't failed yet, okay? Let's look this in...
We'll see how this is gonna bear out. Let's see. So that was Goldtooth and that was Ivy. Kate is gonna have something fun to do as well, aren't you?
Define fun.
Like, you already have more fun. You have all the fun. Kate has the most fun, don't you?
Yeah, it's the most fun.
Play no work. This one.
So much work.
So I think I need to be working. I need to be doing two things at once. I need to be getting this guy to Dr. Critias, and then fucking up the professor's relationship with his publisher at any cost.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I just realized something fun. There's another complication here for you. Because unless she goes to Northwestern. Where is Maggie, your touchstone? Is she at Northwestern or University of Chicago?
I didn't say which university, so I guess that's dealer's choice.
You know what? Let's roll a die. A D2. If I roll a 1, she's at Northwestern. If it's a 2, it's at the U of C. You're lucky, aren't you?
Very lucky.
So apparently your touchstone is in fact at Northwestern. I don't know how much you have time for your touchstones at the moment, though.
No, I don't want to. There's too many piles. There's too many balls of shit in the air.
Very
I
well.
need to catch every one of them.
Catch all the balls. So how are we doing? With the post office, I was gonna say.
As far as I'm aware, would the posties fall under any particular jurisdiction of vampire in the city? Like, we've got the prince who controls the police and politicians.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of the academics going to Dr. Critias. I'm assuming the Nosferatu have a lot of the subway and those workers as part of their kind of influence. Does anyone have influence over the postal workers? Like, I can roll politics if that helps.
Yeah. So let's have a look here at our map, where we are trying to track some of this.
Because they could fall under government officials, which would be the
Yep.
prince's domain.
Ish. Let's see now. The postal service is federal, though, not municipal, right?
Yeah, I don't think vampires care much about that distinction. They're just like, oh, are you working in this city? Yeah, you're mine.
Just with your take half, you can't remember that anyone has actually claimed the postal service, which is interesting in its own way. Like,
I guess that could be dangerous with the amount of federal influence in the postal.
yeah.
There's a lot of groups watching the postal service.
You have Loden with the police department. You have Neely with City Hall. I haven't actually put down who is running the courts because I don't know if you've spoken enough to Davenport to find out. But I could place a character on that one. You have Severn in the financial sector. I'm pretty sure that Davenport would have talked about his sire at some point, or not. Up to you, Ivy.
Yeah, sure. I would have said that my sire worked in the banking industry. Maybe he said his name, but
Yep. And you definitely all know about Ballard and the corporate sector, right? So that's hardly anything strange. Would you know about Peterson and the media sector? I don't know.
I probably wouldn't know about Peterson. I was barely involved with the whole Peterson debacle.
Very well.
I was
Thornhill
kind
and the
of
nightclub
fugued.
district you definitely know because
Yeah.
you've been to the succubus at least once. And then it's hard to hang out with other kindred without sooner or later hearing about Alphonse Capone, right?
Yes.
So
I would be aware of Capone.
that's organized crime. Don't know if you know anything about Jackson in Cabrini Green.
I would only know about him if he's in the Loden's documents, which we have.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. Yeah. And Annabelle and the socialites around the Gold Coast you will definitely know about. Which means
Yeah,
that
not
you
planning
also
on running
know
into
about
them.
Chuckluck and Chinatown up in the north.
So it doesn't sound like anyone's got that particular base.
Not really, no. You will know
So I'm not going to be
about,
stepping on anyone's toes.
You will. Oh, I realized there is one token that is not on the board. My God, how dare I? You would definitely know about Tyler, who has control over the airport. She is one of the
Okay.
Brujah primogen. And of course, Critias, who has control over the university. Far down in the south, you have Mr. Vaughn, who runs the Irish gangs. And that's really about it. As far as So yeah. His nickname is, I don't know. How do you pronounce that? Nina or Nina? I don't know.
It would be Nina.
Nina, yeah. So that's, yeah, so to yours,
I think the easiest solution I'm seeing is find out the postie who does that route and just bribe them.
that makes sense.
That seems to be causing the least amount of problems. It implicates them, so they've got reason to keep it secret. And as far as the postie's aware, there isn't anything dangerous that he would be involved in, because he's not delivering something. I'm just taking something off his hands.
You know what? Let's see here. You have some dominate, you have some cloud memory, you have some mesmerize. Why don't we say that this is gonna go for once fairly smoothly for Kate? Because look at you, you have high intelligence, you have at least a dot in investigation, so just taking half gives you the standard difficulty, and I don't see why this should be higher, because it's a post office. They have routines. This is like the simplest stakeout you can do. He goes the same route every morning. Your problem is, of course, that you can't be awake at that particular time. But you can go to the post office and ask to see managers and have a chat with them. At that point, we enter into manipulation subterfuge, which you have a good number of as well. So I can see this is taking time, but not necessarily being terribly challenging for you between your domination and your subterfuge and manipulation and so on and so forth. So yeah, you're gonna find yourself standing in front of a postal worker who is like, what time do, let's see now, sunset in Chicago in...
I think because I don't need to meet him, hopefully I can meet him. I just need to meet him before he drops his deliveries at the center.
Sunset in Chicago is 5:30 in the afternoon at this time of year, which is quite a while before like offices close. Maybe close at 5 or so, though. If he, let's say now, when is sunrise? Sunrise would be 6:40 in the morning. How early is he emptying he would be emptying the thing in the afternoon, right?
He'd be collecting it throughout the day and emptying it at when he's clocking off, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're going to be able to intercept him. Basically, Kate wakes up and goes straight to the post office. That's how I see it.
Yeah, like there's even a chance like she hides herself nearby and rests there.
Rests overnight, over day. And then she's just going to confront him in the moment, in her morning, the moment she wakes up. Just, there you are. This is like your week of stakeout, basically. You're using this week to stake out, so you know his routine. And
what's the thing, like, I'm fine sitting on this because also, like, the postal service is pretty fast, but I don't know how far he's sending it. So this also gives me a few days before they even know something's wrong.
Yep. Yes, with all this care taken, this fellow will, or woman, I don't know, weathered, sun-creased skin. This person is probably in their 40s, has a cigarette behind an ear, a crooked nose, maybe it was broken once, and lean and wiry, but still broad shoulders. Wobbling a bit. There's maybe a sign that this guy is gonna start developing some medical... Oh, you don't have any medicine. Hips and knees issues.
He's not that sort of academic.
No. But yeah, he's... and a big fat mustache and glasses. And he's gonna be like, hello. And smiles. How are you doing, miss? What can I do for you, ma'am?
Good. Sorry, a friend of mine posted something by accident. They dropped it off at, and I give the location of the university, like that that particular stall,
Yeah.
and then she's going to use mesmerize and just point out which bin in the back of your cars that would be in.
Very well. Arouse check, of course, because now you're drawing upon the blood to really look into his eyes and take over his mind.
Just double checking that's what I need to roll. 1 rouse check and manipulation plus dominate. Now I get hungrier.
You do get
Still
a bit
works.
hungrier, but it works. Yeah, the postal worker gets... I think his name is Adams on the label. He has like a small name tag on the light blue uniform. But his face goes completely slack and... Of course! So you're going to order him to give you the parcel, as it were?
No, because I can't order him to do anything that would require him thinking, or that would require cognition. But I've asked him to point towards the bin that he emptied that post box into. Because in their carts, they've got separate bins which they empty. It's not all just one pile.
Yeah, so he's going to point it out. There. And he can open it too, because it doesn't require cognition. So he will open the bin for you.
Yeah, at which point I'm going to look through it. And just say, oh, wow, you look pretty tired. You should probably have a smoke. Just have a smoke by the front of the van. And then I'm just going to quickly go through it while he's distracted.
He goes and has a smoke in front of the van.
He doesn't even have smokes. He's just...
He has a smoke behind the ear. I mentioned the cigarette. He's going to use it. He's going to... Yep, definitely smoke that.
God help him, he wasn't trying to quit.
He was trying to quit, but here came Kate. And as a result, Kate will not be able to foresee this result, of course. But 10 years in the future, he will maybe develop some... Anyway.
So you lose 3 points of humanity.
No, she doesn't.
No. You don't get the blame for future consequences that you have no way of knowing. At this point, it's not even public knowledge that smoking is cancer-related, is it?
Oh, yes, it is. It's bad for you.
It is?
Yeah,
it's known as bad for you.
Yeah, they were starting
but,
to
like, it wasn't public knowledge until
it wasn't
later. Oh, wait, no, this is the 90s,
how bad it was? Yeah,
They
until later,
weren't
but
cavemen in the 90s, Kate.
Yeah, like, the companies knew in the 60s, and then the public knew by 85.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's public knowledge, and these are bad for you, but people are still... Because the boomer generation got caught in all that, and they are the adults now. They are in their 40s and 30s, and everybody smokes everywhere. Anyway, yeah.
So this is probably going to have a priority or a sensitive document possibly on it? Oh, it's going to look not like a letter. It's going to look like
it's going to be like a parcel
folder.
Because it's a manuscript inside it.
So that does help narrow it down how quickly I need to go through it, hopefully.
Why don't you roll an investigation wits check here? Because we're on a time crunch too, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I will
like,
blood search, because fuck it, why not?
We might need some 4 successes here or so.
4 successes.
Dom has already been, Sylvester's already been arrested for a murder he didn't commit. Now Kate can be arrested for some postal fraud she did commit.
A messy critical. Oh my god. You're gonna find the thing, but it's the beast that drives you. So are you gonna trash the rest of the stuff as you find it?
Kate doesn't really have claws, but
No.
she's gonna get like violent with this bag trying to look
just
for it.
rip it up and all the things just spill out on the floor and you're stepping over them, and because of the slush and the bad weather, it's been so wet this winter, half the mail is destroyed, and you get the parcel, you have the right parcel. The question is, do you want to destroy that too or not, or are you just going to run away?
No, she's gonna go back to the guy and just say, she's gonna put the parcel just behind her, and she's gonna mesmerize him again and just say, I've never seen that before. A raccoon really tore up the back of your van. And then she's gonna walk away.
So he's going to be like, The mesmerization
Yeah, y'all.
in that situation, let's see now, that's carrying out an instruction. What you really want here is forgetful mind, because then you can change his memories.
Oh, that's fair. In that case, I'll just use cloud memory to erase our whole interaction,
Yep,
which
he's gonna
is
forget
free. I don't
the
need to
last
roll.
few minutes. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's gonna be like, you as you're walking away, you're gonna hear him go, "God damn it, shoot!"
As he
Ah,
realizes the cigarette's in his mouth.
yeah, and the cigarette is in his mouth, and his oh no, ah, shoot. Yeah, he's definitely gonna be in trouble in his work now, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You had to do it. You had to do it.
I had to
didn't
do it. I would have chosen a place where there wasn't cameras, hopefully.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does have very good security skills, so yeah. Okay, she's got the manuscript,
Yes. Yes. She
and as
has.
far as she knows, that gives her a bit more time,
Yep.
because the professor
bought
won't
some
know
time.
anything hasn't arrived for at least a few more days, depending on
Absolutely
where
true.
he's sending it to.
Yep.
This is your chance to read the manuscript and figure out exactly. You'll have his full story, what he thinks he's discovered, and then you'll know whether he's a risk or not.
Yeah,
All right.
yes, that's the goal, but I'm still on the deadline for Critias, so I've given
Yep.
myself a bit more breathing space.
You have given yourself breathing room. You've pushed things forward. Whew. Kate is living on the edge.
She's doing her best.
She's doing her best, and the best seems to be decent enough. Do we want to take a short break here? I'm looking at the time, and then get back to some shenanigans, no doubt with Sylvester and Tony,
Yes.
for no reason at all. I don't know why I'm guessing that, but it seems to me like that might be a thing that might be coming up. All right, Sylvester and Tony in 5 minutes. Do. We're back.
Oh, this is funny.
So,
I'll be back, actually.
oh, you will be back. I was gonna ask who is next. Next is, of course, Sylvester.
Yep.
So, what do I want to do, Sylvester, while the others are doing their shenanigans?
Well, scope out the spider room, of course.
Scope out the... Why am I even asking? Check this place out. It's gonna be a cool place, right? We need to have a proper...
And if it isn't cool, we have to redecorate. That's just how it is.
That
Sure.
makes sense. I think that could be your... a project in the project, if you will. I have something for you here. Let's see if you dig it. I just need to configure first here. Wait, what? That was the wrong place. That's where I wanted to go. The spider room. We want everything to be goth here, don't we?
Oh my god, it's so goth.
It's so goth.
Concerning lack of spiders.
There's probably some in the corners over here. Yeah.
I can see how the people here have some terrariums with actual tarantulas with backlighting, so it shows up. And then during the days they feed the tarantulas. Though the tarantulas might just go to bed at night and not peek out at all. Maybe they're
You
just...
are unfamiliar with taking care of tarantulas, I see.
I am not familiar at all.
I really
Light
hope
them so they cast
they're
massive
glass.
shadows on the walls.
I just really hope they're not cages, they're terrariums, not terrarium, but soundproof to the nth degree if they're in a nightclub.
Yeah.
As a creature that's very sensitive to vibration.
Yeah,
And
of course,
all the
spiders.
tarantulas died within a week.
No, but they would just stress molt to death. They're constantly being shook.
Just the base shaking them at every point of the night.
There's gonna be definitely stuffed tarantulas on the walls. There we go. It's a writhing den of smoke, mirrors, leather, and sin. Everything smells like clove cigarettes, maybe some spilled tequila and cheap perfume.
Heck yeah, my kind of place.
Exactly. There's 2 floors, an upper mezzanine for VIPs, and a ground floor for regulars, including mosh pits, one mosh pit. And the stage is deep purple and red. There's some steel scaffolding that can allow performers to climb around and have some fun. And yeah, there's gonna be some Black Widow booths in the mezzanine for the VIPs. And the bar serves drinks with names like Bite Me, Venom, and Velvet. Obviously, there will be various spider names and so on. Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, there's gonna be rockers, witches, punks here.
Actually, it might have a crowd even.
Yeah, it's a very niche crowd. This is definitely like a subculture place where the people who go because they have subculture feels, and this is like a purist location. The people here would not be caught dead in a different place, I don't think. Sure, there are blood dolls and goths and so on who go to the Succubus Club and the Blue Velvet, but the people who go to the Spider Room would probably consider those guys to be just posers, not the real thing. Here, we're hardcore about our style.
Indeed.
No, Mom, it really isn't a phase.
Exactly. It really isn't a phase. Yeah. Let's see what you might find out while you're here, Sylvester Bjornsson.
Indeed.
And investigating this place. Various people, of course. Let's see, there's a bartender. She's apparently She's dressed like a glam metal queen, so that's perfect for you. There is, I guess, the head bouncer has a shaved head, mirror shades, proper leather duster, and yeah. And then there you have a DJ, and I guess there's a dancer who's also here. She's very bendy, very dressed gothy. She does a burlesque show on Wednesday nights, apparently. It's called Velvet Hell.
Sylvester might try to chat up the bartender, maybe figure out a little bit about who owns this place.
For sure, yeah. You're charismatic. You have persuasion. It's not going to be hard for you to strike up a conversation with a bartender. Apparently,
Could I argue for streetwise because I have a specialty in the rock subculture?
Fair enough. That's even easier then. That's like 4 successes on a take half. Yeah, the bartender, she calls herself Blaze. And yeah, honey, what do you want?
It's just this is a lovely place, and I do
Isn't
have
it,
a
though?
band who. Yeah, I do have a band who actually would love to play here sometime. Would you happen to know who owns this place, so I can get in touch, perhaps?
Sure, you want to talk to Hex? Yeah.
Interesting.
We're all witches around here.
Of course.
So Blaze, you can see her glam rock big hairdo, which is still like a remnant from 1986, basically. She's dressed in lots of nettings and webbings, and has like pentagrams everywhere, including tattoos and stuff. Yeah, you want to talk to Hex. She runs the place. She's the manager. When you talk to Hex, I gotta tell you, she's pretty much a big deal, because she used to run with Mötley Crüe.
No.
It's God's honest truth. Or the devil's honest truth, right?
Yeah.
But thing is, she was a groupie with them. It was awesome.
Where can I get in touch with the ex?
Oh, just talk to Matt. No, Rat. Sorry. Rat. Everybody is Matt around here for some reason tonight. I don't know why. I just had a cuss. Yeah. There was a guy at the bar. Rat. Yeah. He'll take you to her. It's the big guy with a shaved head. Security dude.
All right.
Don't you mind his demeanor now, honey. He looks like a mean guy, and he sure is a vet, but he's cool. He's really cool.
Yeah, excellent. I'll have a chat with him. Thank you very much. Love the outfit, by
You're
the way.
so welcome, honey. Yeah, isn't it awesome? So, what is your band again?
Oh, it's a Vixen, 3 X's.
You know what? You just got 2 points of fame recently, didn't you?
I might be known around Chicago.
Yeah, so that gives you an extra success for free on your charisma, streetwise, everything here. So that's 6, 7, 9. That's 5 dice when you're taking half. 5 successes when you're taking half. This is gonna go so easy for Sylvester, isn't it? He's just absolutely floating through the bar. Hey, do you want one on the house? What's your name again? Wait, you're Vixen?
Yeah.
Awesome. I have your latest album. You just came out.
Yeah.
It's great, man. You gotta play here. You gotta. Here,
Oh,
one
that's
on the
lovely.
house. And she's gonna give
Thank you. I'm gonna have to remember to actually, what's it called? Do Blush of Life. I should have rolled that preactively, but
Yeah.
no more hungry. Okay,
more hungry.
Sylvester will take the drink.
Yeah. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
so you're gonna get a drink that is called, I don't know, something spidery? Widow's Embrace, there you go. Yes. It's very black. Probably lots of licorice in it. Like kombucha and stuff, yeah.
Damn.
Sambucha,
Horrible
that's what it's
combination.
called. I was a big drinker of kombucha when I was a kid, yeah. Not when I was a kid, when I was in my 20s. That's what I mean.
When you were a kid adult.
Yes, exactly. That. Alright, Rat, he's a big dude, as I mentioned, but he's certainly not gonna cause you too much trouble. He'll look you over. Alright, you want to speak to the manager? Oh, okay, Vixen, huh? Cool. Alright, sure. Come with me. And he's gonna lead you to like a desk, like a door that says private, and he's gonna lead you inside and knock on an office door. It's labeled office and everything. And the office in question is the decor that you will probably love, Sylvester. There's all sorts of goth stuff and other alternative stuff in here. There are candles, there are bones, there's like a skull sitting on a shelf. There is a big pentagram painted on the floor. She has a typewriter and a whole bunch of bookshelves filled with binders, of course. I don't think she's computerized yet, to be honest. And yeah, there's a lady here sitting there. She is in her mid to late 30s. And she's... Oh, right, come in. Yeah, Vixen? Rat said?
Indeed.
And you want to play here?
This seems like the perfect place.
We could use a new act, she says. We could definitely use a new act. Okay. Sure. When are you interested in starting? What is your schedule looking like?
But yeah, we just had our newest release. Currently our schedule is quite open. Like,
All right.
Any evening to night works best.
Evenings to nights? Obviously, it's a nightclub, honey. So let's
Yeah,
think he's in
well,
it.
strangely enough, sometimes I get people asking me to come there during lunch, and I'm like, no,
Really?
Yeah,
That's just
probably just
not
like old
right
folks
time.
who don't know what they're talking about. But yeah,
very well. That's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll set you up for something. Here, I have my typical contract here for bands who come and play. Most of the bands here are honestly a bit more low-key than you guys. They have to start somewhere, right? You're gonna be, I think, the biggest band we've had. Be an honor host.
That's quite the flatter. We were like the other bands, just up and coming.
Yeah, but everybody's talking about your latest album, man. Yeah, she's gonna have a contract for you. She's gonna plop it down on the table. Now, don't sign it immediately. You take that to your lawyer and you check it out and you make sure that you're satisfied with the terms here. But I hope you will be, because I really want to start working with you guys.
Yeah.
Could we use Candy as a dancer, backup dancer for you guys?
Oh, that would be interesting. Haven't had a dancer before, I believe.
Yeah, she's practically a goth icon. They love her here. If you swing by on a Wednesday night, you can catch her burlesque show.
Oh, yeah, was it the lady dancing just now?
Exactly.
Excellent. Perfect. Oh, I think that will be a definite hit.
Awesome. As you are, because there's definitely something happening here with the contracts being written and everything, Sylvester. As you're coming out, I think you're gonna see a stumbling Josh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He's coming out from a washroom, and honestly, he doesn't look too hot right now. Like, a bit gray in the face. He hasn't seen you.
Hey, Josh, my man, what you doing here?
Huh? Oh, Syl, my man. Come here. Give you a hug.
Alright. Yeah, Sylvester will give this poor man a hug.
Yeah, he's thin. He is, very thin. If you squeeze too hard, he'll break, probably. He's clearly under the influence of some things, probably. Probably a cocktail of things. You have to come. I'm having a fundraiser for my charity. We're working on. I've been doing this really, like, for the past week, because it's hard times, and people need the support, and we're gonna do a big fundraiser so that my charity can keep doing the work. And I just heard about your album coming out. Maybe your band could come and play. Donate the proceeds to the charity? That would be awesome. He's literally holding onto your shoulders to just stand up straight.
I'm all for it, man. I don't know if the usual stuff we play is the best for a charity auction, but...
but it will be great. Syl, you're so talented. You're gonna live forever, Syl, I swear. You're gonna break through all the ceilings and go into the stratosphere and become not just a star.
Why?
No, you're gonna galaxy.
Why don't we discuss this on our way home? I'll take you home, Josh.
Sure. Yeah, but the night is young. There's a lot of partying left to do. I saw the sweetest guy around here. I just need him. I need him tonight. Are you gonna block my cock?
No. You can. Don't you have his number or something? You can just call him later.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Not to suggest that I wouldn't consider you a morsel too, Syl, but I figured you and Leo and all.
It's not like that.
And he's gonna suddenly just keel over and fall down on the floor.
Yeah, I think Sylvester is gonna check on him to make sure he's like laying in a position where he can breathe and doesn't accidentally choke on his own vomit, for starters.
Yeah, your medicine is absolutely lousy, so you have no idea of how well he's feeling right now. Yeah. Doesn't look too good, though.
No.
Just judging by your wits and insight, all the shadows under his eyes... The man needs a vacation, man. A 1 week vacation where he's doing nothing. This guy is someone who's burning the candle from all ends. More ends than you can possibly have on a candle, probably.
Yeah, he dipped it in napalm and then just...
Yep, that's about the only answer.
I think in that case, Sylvester is actually just going to pick him up and carry him home? Question mark?
Yeah, that might just work. Very sweet. I think you can be able to pull that off, probably. Yeah.
Worst case, I could do a RAS check.
That might be a thing too. Let's see now. What do we have for feats of strength here? Carrying someone.
Yeah, he's skinny, you said.
Yeah, he's very skinny.
So wouldn't be too heavy.
You know what? With the rouse check, you'll automatically be able to succeed. No problem at all.
Okay.
Because you are also skinny, unfortunately. That's the thing.
Yeah, skinny but tall.
Yeah. You are gonna get a little bit hungry, but you're definitely gonna be able to get him home to his place, and he is sleeping very deeply for the rest of the night. He missed out on his pickup this night. He is not gonna get laid tonight. Also, you're not sure if he should be in his state, and given his condition, at least he should be using protections.
Yep.
But, yeah. Any follow-up here for Josh?
Alright, what now?
Any follow-ups here for Josh? Are we leaving him in his apartment, or?
I think it's Sylvester is just gonna... That's a good question. Granted, Sylvester doesn't know a lot about medicine.
No, he does not.
Splash water on his face.
Could I maybe roll a streetwise to see if I can figure anything out about how to deal with people on drugs?
Which one?
A streetwise.
Nah, not really.
No.
It's a mystery to you.
Mystery to me.
Would it be intelligence streetwise? Like,
Maybe.
you would know the basics for how to make sure that he doesn't die tonight. You don't think he has OD'd necessarily. He is just, he's lying in his
much.
bed quietly, and the fact that you brought him home is the good deed for the day, I think. Yeah.
Does this
Yeah,
change the plan of what we're going to do about the nightclub? Because the sort of agreed on scheme before was nightclub owners are assholes, let's just muscle some guy. And now you get there, cool place, cool people, Sylvester's natural crowd. So has this changed the scheme?
Nope. Doesn't change the scheme. Yet.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just scoping.
Speaking of
And if
scoping
you,
and such,
I was about to say, and if you know the people who work there, then you know it's easier for the takeover.
exactly. Tony,
Yes.
you're gonna have the best night ever, right? The best week ever.
Oh yeah, sure.
Absolutely. What are we gonna do for your best week ever?
I also said, with Tony Touchstone, isn't your Touchstone like a senior member of the Latin Kings?
Yep.
You're also trying to take over the Latin Kings, so you're
Yep.
actually trying to steal your Touchstone's gang.
There are several different corners you can operate in, but yes, that could be interesting.
Well, Tony's getting influence.
Well,
He isn't
influence
becoming
isn't
the leader.
stealing. Yeah, it's like you could talk to Sinbad and connect more with him, and now he can start using Sinbad to get orders done down the streets. It's not taking over. It's just being Sinbad's advisor, as it were.
Yeah.
Like when you went to those guys on the corner and were like, you work for me now.
Yeah, that's where he starts. Like, maybe there are people who aren't working for Sinbad properly yet. Maybe he's putting
Yeah,
them
I'm
in
still
Sinbad's line.
Sinbad. Anyone else though, they're free game. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
We're gonna have some funsies here, aren't we? Of course we are.
Phone just ringing. It's Sylvester saying, "What do you do when a guy's took a real a shitload of drugs?"
Okay, why don't I have a... Okay. We're gonna that, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that.
That was quite a few dice.
That was quite a few dice, yes. Oh, okay, that's fair. That's a bit annoying. Never mind that then. There's going to be note in the inbox for you. This is like in your haven. Tony, there will be a piece of... Yeah, it's like one of these Hallmark cards or what have you. And when you open it up, it's an invitation to a lecture at the university. A lecture on philosophy, in fact. And it's signed Dr. Critias.
Well, it was good knowing you.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna die now. Fuck.
Fine, you haven't done anything bad, have you?
What? Nah.
I don't think he's done anything bad.
Critias.
Oh, yeah, I haven't told anyone about Critias.
Tony, I guess, just looks just confused when he like reads the thing. Just huh? And He takes a long moment just to think about it.
Who the heck is this?
Yeah,
Very
just
confused.
like
Though, if you have checked out the files from Prince Loden, you will know who it is.
wait. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna roll a coin. 2, I do know. 1, I don't.
It would be quite funny if you think, oh, this is actually meant for Kate, and bring it to her.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna do that. That sounds
I mean,
exactly.
it's addressed to Tony, like,
You.
specifically.
Yeah, it's just to you specifically.
The letter says on the envelope, it says Tony. To Tony. Signed Dr. Critias. And I'm sure Kate can go. Okay, so this is going to be a conversation between Kate and Tony then, obviously, because.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
so
I
Kate's
just-
just
I
sitting
just kind
down.
of thought as well, if because Charlie was a student in his mortal life, although he was an art history student, would he have ever met Critias before?
Who has met Critias before? Tony? No.
I would say, would Charlie have met
No.
Critias when he was a student in his mortal life?
Probably not. Unless you took philosophy classes.
Oh, he did art history.
No.
All right, so I guess I go into Kate's little area, and I start by saying, "So Kate, I just got a pretty weird note. It's by Dr. Critias.
You will see the lack of blood drain from her face. What does he want? Actually, no, just give it to me." She just stumbles up, tries
Wait,
to take
what?
it from you.
Hold on there.
You said it's
What?
a no for me, right?
Do you know this guy?
What does it say?
It's invite to go to a lecture on philosophy.
Oh god. Okay, can I see it?
Sure.
Yeah, she looks at it, sees Tony's name, and immediately stops the panic attack. Or attempts to, at least. She'll try to regain her cool.
Nuts.
Is this guy a vampire?
The primogen.
Oh,
That's the primogen.
fuck.
I think that's your primogen. I ran into him a while ago. Not something I was looking to repeat. Okay, yeah, she still has not kept her shit together. Like, she is still panicking.
Yep.
With a complete failure on subterfuge composure.
The closest the vampire gets to breathing in a bag.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You should not be late. You should go attend that. Don't mention me. Unless he asks.
All right,
But,
then.
Yeah. Good luck.
I guess I'll need it.
Maybe you will. The University. of
I'm guessing
Chicago.
as you leave the room, Kate is just the equivalent of hyperventilating when you don't need to breathe.
Well,
So yeah, it's
University of
Tony's game.
Chicago. Tony is at this campus this time.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to go great.
He was
You got
invited,
this.
so he's not like breaking a tradition,
He is not breaking a tradition.
which is a step in the right direction.
It is a step in the
excuse
right
me.
direction, absolutely. Okay, you have been invited to a lecture on philosophy at night, and it's going to be a lecture hall, maybe what they look like. It's bolted down chairs, wooden chairs, because it's an old university, with this side tables that you can pull up next to your chair, and then you have your notes on. This is probably early in the evening for a kindred, at least. It's 7 p.m., something like that. and it's filled with humans there. And you're gonna see, yeah, there's a lot of students here, and you're so out of place that it's just embarrassing if you're dressed like a gangster. Everybody's gonna consider you a sore thumb.
I'm probably going to dress up in a little bit more subtle attire tonight.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is Dex with you? No,
Absolutely not.
Good choice.
The gentleman who is holding the lecture is standing with his I guess a bright suit, 3-piece suit, and he has a blackboard, and he is talking about some ancient philosopher from ancient Greece. Which you understand nothing of, because you have no academics at all, do you?
Yeah, this is just going in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, you will hear him speak. Tonight's lecture will be on the tyranny of the timid, Socrates, and the death of cities. And then he starts speaking about Athens and Sparta and philosophers versus tyrants, and how do you govern a city, and do you wish to, if you have a tyrant, should you rebel? Then in that case you have to be just. How does democracy work, or doesn't it? Remember the downfall of Athens? There's a lot of history in here. Maybe, Tony, if you want to spend 3 XP to get a point of academics after this lecture, I'll allow. It's gonna be an hour-long lecture.
Yeah, Tony, while very bored and not really understanding a lot of it, does try his best to listen because, yeah, this is a primogen. I don't want to piss him off.
Can you tell that he is a vampire by looking at him? Is this the guy you're supposed to even meet? It says Professor Critias on the blackboard.
I mean, I would hope I would be able to see that he's a vampire.
Wits and awareness, yes, you can. He's a little bit far away from you, so I think it's going to be 4 successes to see it properly.
Like a second
unless you want to have a front row seat.
Ooh.
I'm imagining this guy's using Blush of Life while he's lecturing.
Absolutely he's doing that.
Okay, wonderful.
So wouldn't you need, like, advanced auspex to tell if he's undead then?
Or plenty of successes.
Yeah, so completely failed. Let's see!
Compulsion! Should I roll for you, or do you want to? Oh, harm!
Oh,
He
no.
did already tell you that this guy was the Brujah primogen.
Yeah, but...
Oh,
And also, you can read into the fact that she is terrified of him.
Yeah.
And you did see her speak down to Ballard.
Yeah.
Which I guess she will pay for that in the far future.
Yep.
At some point.
No, never. Tony begins the night being 2 dice down, because if he starts doing harm to anyone here, he's gonna be in for it.
Oh, this is...
Tony is on so much edge. Because he's a fish out of water. He's sitting in a lecture hall filled with undergraduate students and probably some grad students too. He's never been at a university. He's never seen a lecture in his life. He's never listened to one. They just talk, and every once in a while, pretty much the same people as 3 or 4 students in a lecture hall of 70 who raise their hand and ask questions. Let's see now. Because of your 2 dice down, you're not automatically going to see the pattern for how the questions are going here, unfortunately. But eventually the lecture will be over, and students are going to start filing out from the lecture hall. But the professor is standing there, and he's talking to a student and here and there, but his eyes are going to lock onto yours. And there's no doubt that he... Ooh, let's see now. Fair enough. That he wants you to stay. You can feel it. Like, you're not allowed to leave right now. So, when the lecture hall is finally empty, when all the other students have left, and the grad students who assisted him, he's finally going to turn to you. Mr. Hernandez, I presume?
Yes, sir.
Please, have a seat. You can take the front row. We won't be disturbed here.
Okay. And I guess I take a seat at the front.
He will pull up a chair and sit in front of you, but he's still sitting on the little stage, as it were, so he's slightly above you. Mr. Hernandez, I understand you have recently arrived in the city, and you claim the blood of the Brujah, yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh wait, you have misstepped already.
You are of our blood, but that alone is no merit. I'm afraid in these modern nights, the blood has been diluted. The wisdom has been lost over the decades and centuries. It's very sad, truly. Very few among our line have been given a proper education these nights. The blood of Carthage flows through murderers and dreamers alike. So what does it mean to you to be Brujah?
I don't know how to answer that.
You don't know how to answer that.
No.
Have you ever engaged in the mental exercises of asking questions about life or unlife itself?
I'll admit, no, I haven't.
I see. You live in a city of masks. All kindred play a part in the theater of the night. Tell me, who would you kneel to if forced?
The prince?
Prince, the mob of your own fists?
I actually didn't hear that part. What was that?
Your own
Like, I was-
fists. The prince, the mob of your own fists?
Oh, my own fist. Yes.
Let's have a... I don't know if this is even a... Well, maybe.
Yeah, in terms of like intellectual or like battles here, this is like a duck going up against a fucking grizzly bear.
Yeah, it probably is.
I was thinking maybe Charlie should have been here until he started talking about not liking diluted blood.
Tony is definitely... His eyes are just basically nailing you to the seat.
You may fare better in this combat because you're not aware you're under attack.
You came from Gary.
Yes.
Tell me what you owe Modius and what you owe yourself.
Oh. I has in debt? Like, things that I'm not really sure how to answer. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I see. He's again just looking at you. He's taking his time. Mr. Hernandez. I believe that you would imagine yourself a soldier of the streets, no? Looking at your accoutrements.
I guess I would, yeah.
Of course. You remind me of the Scythians. Wild, fierce, and tragically incapable of governing themselves. The Brujah were once philosopher-kings. But I suppose I can use you as a warning example of how far we have fallen from that ideal. You're free to go.
Alright, sir. And I guess I just walk out then.
Yeah, you do. With the I don't know what is Tony taking out of this? Aside from a sense of having failed spectacularly.
I'm not sure what Tony, just lost. Just completely confused. And just wants to punch something right now.
That makes sense. You want to punch something? Absolutely. That's your harm thing there? Absolutely, yeah.
Demeaned.
Oh my god, Tony's going to develop a hatred of Critias, isn't he?
That's a very unhealthy thing to have.
Probably.
I can't say I like him, but I'm going to keep those thoughts to myself forever.
The question is, are you going to be able to control yourself enough that you don't lash out while on campus?
Oh, I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm done.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
but
run.
if you punch if you're walking past a bunch of jocks that are just coming back from practice, all happy, take a
He
swing at one.
doesn't have to roll self-control. The harm compulsion is more, he just has -2 dice on things until he gives into it, but you can control them directly. So they're not a frenzy test. On the other hand, I guess, if it's a feeling of having felt humiliated, it is a frenzy test, isn't it?
Shit.
But it's not a public humiliation, because you were sitting in that room alone with the doctor, which means that it was not, and you were not insulted by an inferior. So, no, you're good. This is not, it's just basically, yeah, that feeling of, he saw into your soul, and is your anger right now because he didn't like what he saw, or because you didn't like what he saw?
A mix of both. And I guess looking back, maybe after this, Tony thinks to himself that he failed not just to Critias, but to himself.
That's very possible. Those words, like, we used to be philosopher-kings. What the hell is a philosopher? Kings I get. I'm a king. I'm a Latin king. But, yeah. Maybe you can ask Kate later.
It's just been like pulling her hair out, hoping that she's not mentioned in whatever conversation just happened.
Oh dear. That was harsh, wasn't it? Possibly.
Yeah, I guess next time Tony, he's just fuming.
Yeah. Oh, are we gonna have a conversation, Tony and Kate, about how it went?
Kate's not gonna pry, but you could tell she's just as stressed. Like, she's watching you as you enter the Haven again. All good?
Not really. And I'm gonna do a quick awareness check, or wits and awareness. I probably don't even need to roll it. I probably could just tell, right?
Yep.
In that case, then I guess I just look to Kate for a second and say, we weren't talking about you there.
Oh. Thank Kane. That would... Whew. Okay. Probably best you don't tell me anything further then.
What'd you do to piss him off?
If he didn't tell you, it's not really my place.
Alright, then.
Sorry, you know how he is. Right?
Yeah, I guess I do now.
Like, he not even... I didn't even skim the surface of his thoughts, and he was just running rings around me. Nothing like any of the other primogens mentioned.
You haven't met too many of the others. Annabelle.
Many of the other elders of the city.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like them. Nothing like Ballard, Neely, or even the Prince. Like, the Prince didn't give off that sort of vibe to Kate, at least. But to be fair, the first time she did see him, he was staked for that kind of...
Yeah, a little bit.
Deflates the image a bit.
You've seen him at his most vulnerable, yeah. This isn't
Did he ask you to do anything?
This isn't necessarily the only thing that Tony will have to think about this week, because, Tony, you're gonna get a visit, actually, in your haven. Let's go back to the haven. It's gonna be a visit in your haven. Yes.
It is funny that you failed so spectacularly he couldn't think of a thing for you to do.
No,
Give you
Critias
a
had
job.
no job for you at all. None.
I
might
failed
have
successfully.
Am I being such a fucking idiot?
You have failed successfully.
Failed successfully.
Fell upward.
One fine evening at about the same
I'm
time.
such a fucking idiot. It goes back into being a genius.
Yeah, it goes right around and comes full circle.
Yeah, I actually won there.
Or did you? One fine night, there will be a knock on the door. Dunk, dunk. And if anyone is checking, it's gonna be the sheriff.
I guess I...
You got Tony in here? I need to talk to him.
Is Tony answering?
Yeah. I open door.
All right,
Sheriff.
Tony, let's go for a walk, will you?
Sure.
It's all
I
right.
guess I
Kyle
have-
will be watching our back. You love Kyle, don't you? Sheriff's Ghoul.
Yeah, I like him.
All right. I don't know if you heard about the latest hubbub that went by. I guess you're not one to read papers, are you?
No, not really.
Right. We have had some luck lately routing those goddamn good-for-nothing Anarchs. But there's also been a couple of fuck-ups, you could say. Fuck-ups.
All right,
In
then.
fact, some of the action has taken place right close by this neighborhood. Seems some of them Anarchs have decided to use some of the abandoned buildings around here for meeting places. But me and the boys, we go in and we cleared out, and it's a damn game of whack-a-mole, if you ask me. God damn it. One of these days, But that's where you come in, Tony. See, seems to me that the prince trusts you. Now, I know we didn't meet under the best circumstances. And I know I gave you a bit of a runaround those first nights. But as far as I'm concerned, it's the bygones. Let's be bygones, right? You did a good thing by the city. And the prince swears by you. So in my book, you're alright. No tars and feathers for you. No, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I can let that whole thing be let bygones be bygones. So what do you need me to do specifically?
He's nodding and looking very pleased. Seems to me that me and you, we're the only Brujah in this city who got a pair. We're the only Brujah in this city who's smart enough to understand what's what. We're the only two Brujah in this city who have a sense of loyalty. After all, we're all part of the Camarilla, aren't we? Now, of course, I'm not talking about the primogen, because they're obviously primogen. They're also obviously Camarilla too, so no disrespect to them. Miss Tyler, Dr. Critias, upstanding folks, both of them, obviously. Now, I'm not one to getting into a word salad with Dr. Critias, because that stuff can really spin your head around before you know it. But
yeah, it took me for a ride a couple days ago.
I can see that, yeah. But, you know, me and you, we're men of the street, aren't we? So there's this kid. Don't know if you met him. Calls himself Damien.
Oh yeah, I have, yeah. Back when we were still at each other's throats. Yeah,
right.
He was the one who saved me, actually.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was the one who did it. I didn't see who it was. I just felt the effects. I thought I heard his goddamn voice. So
yeah, it was him.
So he introduced himself to you, probably. Good, I thought as much. Now, he thinks he's some kind of Anarch rock star. I need you to remind him that Chicago ain't his playground. We want him, tar, feathers, rail, out of town. Catch my drift? So,
Yeah.
What would be your best suggestion for making this happen? I've been following a bunch of runts now. Goddamn rabble. They call themselves the Nihilists. It's Damien. It's some street punk called Dickie. A French guy, they call him Frenchie. Probably a couple of others. Gengis, I think, is part of that crowd.
Yeah.
We need to shut them down. There ain't no blood hunt right now, so we don't have the right to stake him for the sun, unfortunately. But if we can suss out who their mortal allies are, mortal pawns, they're always up for grabs. Feel free to drink them dry.
Yeah, I could maybe see if I can find some of their mortals and deal with them.
Very well. I dig it. Is that what they say nowadays? Dig it?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You do what you can, and we can talk in a week or so, right?
Yeah.
That's a good man. And he's gonna shake your hand, and I'll let you be on your way, cowboy.
Alright.
He tips his hat at you and leaves in the night.
I was about to ask, am I just in the heaven listening in on this conversation?
No, they're walking in the streets, like they took a walk in the neighborhood. Which doesn't mean that you can't still listen if you have...
It would be weird for me if I just follow after them, so I'm not going to.
You're gonna
I don't
sneak?
want to gossip that bad.
Because
Oh, if you're gonna sneak around and try and listen in, I guess I'm gonna have to use awareness.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I'm not that interested in Tony's gossip.
Because you didn't grab unseen presence.
All right, then fine.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Don't you have? I feel like it'd be a lot easier for you to sneak around and hear us, since you wouldn't you wouldn't have to be that close with the senses.
Yeah, but
Right.
Sylvester doesn't have heightened senses.
No,
Sylvester
I have
has
sense the unseen.
Oh, okay then. Shit.
Charlie has heightened senses, so it would have to be up to.
Yep. Charlie is the one who can listen in on the gossip.
Yeah, but his
If he wants to.
dex and stealth is terrible.
Oh my goodness, Charlie, we should fix that so you can listen in on the gossip.
Good. So we have Charlie wanting to go to the meeting. Two of our guys, Jan and me, wanting to.
Let's see if
Fuck,
Charlie is here this night. I'll roll a d2. If I roll a 1, he's not. Nope, apparently
Ooh,
he is there. So maybe you can listen in. Do you want to listen in, Charlie?
Go on, do it for the drama.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Dexterity, stealth. Are we doing a blood
I would
surge on
say-
top of this? You don't have fleetness, unfortunately, so that's a problem.
I would argue, since that he doesn't have to be as close to us, the difficulty would be lowered. Don't you think?
I could give you an extra die for heightened senses, actually. Unusually, it's not used for stealth, but you're trying to listen in. And so that extra die gives you the more distance you need to sneak, so there we go. That gives you a dexterity and stealth of 5 dice in total. So you would have to have, yeah, it's a roll of 5 versus 5, basically, right, Tony?
Yep. Alright then. Get rolling.
And I'm a blood surgeon.
Oh, I
Sounds
guess
like
I'll
an
have to
idea.
blood surge it this time.
All the dice are rolling.
Alright then.
3 successes. 3 successes. Huh. That is gonna be the attacker wins, right, in this system. So, Goldtooth Charlie will be able to listen in.
You know what? Just maybe to make things more interesting. I could... Nah. Alright, then I guess you'll listen in. And hear our little talk.
Yeah, you listen in and hear the little talk. I don't know what Charlie's gonna use that for later on, but yeah.
Oh, this is good.
At the end of the week, I guess we have a whole bunch of different things going on. Kate has bought herself a little bit of extra time to avoid being bogged down, avoid being destroyed by both her own clan and a powerful Brujah primogen. Charlie has had a chat with a K-Tief and is going to go on an Anarch meeting at some point. Ivy has new instructions from Mr. Neely. He's going to have to do some work there and find out some financial transactions. Sylvester has...
my way out of orders and into some other orders.
Yeah, Sylvester has a contract to start working on the connection with the spider room, and Tony is gonna go start chasing down Anarchs, which I'm sure is gonna make him very popular among that particular crowd. Speaking of which, Tony, before we end here, did you want to try to do a progress roll for your guards for the Haven? Because right now the resistance dice for that is only a 2.
What would I be rolling?
You would be rolling, I feel like you would be rolling streetwise with your specialty in gangs, so that's 4 dice, plus the 1 resource you've devoted to it, so 5 dice versus 2 dice.
Let's do it. Fuck it.
We
Oh my
ball.
god. Nice.
That is 3 successes. And versus 2 dice against you. Let's see how the gangers feel about this. They roll 1 success. That means that
Yay.
there is 2 successes margin, so you succeed. This week you talk to enough guards around, and we have now added guards for the Haven. So, Haven security, guards.
How many dots was it? Or is it just a one dot thing?
One. Yeah.
Yep. So now there's like wasn't it 5 dudes?
Yeah. So, Haven.
This Anarch meeting, I'm not sure actually which is the worst case scenario. If while I'm there, Tony and the sheriff turn up, or if Dr. Critias is there.
Oh no.
I think it's the worst case scenario if both of them are there.
Oh no. That would be bad.
But also, I don't think the sheriff and Dr. Critias are working with the same tool set. So I don't think he's in much danger of the sheriff.
Yeah. Oy.
So now you have a bunch of Latin King members who are doing their dealing on the corner where you have your Haven. And if anything goes wrong, they're going to be ready to spring into action and pull some guns at people. So, better Haven security for you guys. Good job, Tony. You have your resource available again. All right. And that is as far as we got this week, which means that we're going to be at the last week of February when we get together next time. And who knows what's going to happen then. We're almost at spring, you guys.
Oh, wait,
Chicago,
I might have gotten this wrong.
What was that?
Did we lower the timers on the other projects?
Oh, yeah, I did that.
Okay. Ruby.
Yeah. Chicago is going to get warmer. The nights are going to get shorter. And I don't know what else is going to get. I don't know. Your lives are going to be less complex or more complex. Who knows?
Probably more complex.
Probably more. So I will meet you back here in a week. Always a pleasure. Remember, when you speak about the Camarilla, we talk about it in the chat. We talk about it in the comment section. We follow. We subscribe. We ring the bell icon. And we sacrifice to the Weaver spirits. Huh?
Yeah. Otherwise, we will send you to Critias.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have to talk to Critias. See you next week, everybody.